Hello, I'm Gepwin. Welcome back to Factory Town. This is just a fun little video that I had the idea for recently, and I wanted to try it out. And the thing is, what is the fastest way to move items from place to place? Because I've done a tutorial on how to move stuff. I'm doing more and more and more, and we're going to do rails later. That's going to be the last thing. But I just had this thought. Like, let's set up a little just race really quick. Use every way to move things that I can think of, and see how that goes. So I'm going to set up just a quick little course here. We're going to say we have a barn here, and then we're going to move over. I don't know how many blocks because it's hard to count, but we're just going to move straight over. Come on. Let's use the camera to our advantage. We're going to move straight over a certain number of blocks here. And that's it. That's our little course. We're going to use our admin commands to put 200 wood into each of these. Wood 200, and then we're just going to set this up and move the wood from here to here, and I'm going to just set it up for as many things as I can think of. And to make it visually interesting, let's just set up some compute blocks here. Let's give ourselves each a little inventory sensor and a math block and a logic lamp. There we go. Let's just set up these, and so when this has equal to 200 items in the barn, we will switch this lamp on green. Yeah, we can say wood, why not? I wish I could just copy paste all these, 'cause it's going to take a little bit to set up, but now as soon as this gets the 200 items, that'll turn green, and we'll set this up for as many ways to move items as we can. And I'm going to try to make it fun and fair. Like, we aren't going to use like the worker, or maybe we will. Let's just set it up for as many things as we can, but we're going to set it up for the fastest version of those things. So like, we'll set up a path going back and forth here, right? And this will have a worker carrying stuff. And let's pause the game just to make sure that we don't accidentally move stuff out of the things. Then the next one down, we're going to do exactly the same thing. That is how many blocks? 2 blocks down? 1, 2. Yeah, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but this one we are going to have a road and a road going back and forth and a couple of wagons. Let's actually give these a fair shot. Let's just do one. Yeah, we're going to do one. One wagon, because that's fair, right? We're going to do one wagon, then one minecart, and etc. And we'll see which of these are like, fastest. So now we just have to set up this next thing for, the next couple things. I'm going to set all that up at the end as well as giving the things. Now let's move, 2 more down. And then, of course, we need to start with... There we go. Then, of course, now we need to start with something like the chute. So that can just go straight over there. There we go. That'll give us a good comparison of whether the chute is faster than the workers and things. Move this straight over here. That should be good. Then I'm not going to bother with the other belts because, of course, a magic belt is faster than a cloth belt, a conveyor belt, etc. But we do have another chute to work with. I forgot. We have another chute to do. We are going to do this thing where we give it a ramp to start with. There we go. This works, right? Is that too high? Now I need to test this. Is this too high? Grabber. Here, let's just put a bit of... this one doesn't have wood in it, so it doesn't matter. Let's just put some wood in here. A wood... Oh, whoops. It helps if you have the inventory selected. Wood 1. There we go. So if I turn this on, there it goes. Yeah, it does work. Off it goes. Yay, this one won, because none of the others were running. Okay, we've tested that and it works fine. Now, like I said, I'm going to set up one for the 1, 2 belts, but there's absolutely no point in going, oh, which of these will win? Because obviously the magic belt is fastest. I suppose... Do we have room for this? How many more things? Okay, we got room. You know what? Given that we're doing this in a scientific chute-ish manner. Because we have this chute versus this chute, which obviously the chute with the ramp is going to go faster. So we're going to set this up with all the kinds of belts too, because part of this is also going to be seeing how much faster. Right? I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do some editing magic when we do the actual race. See about setting up something that can, you know, show us how long these take, because I have access to that in the recording. I can just look at it and say like, well, it started at this time and ended at this time, so that's what happened. And we'll see how we can do that. Yeah, also, you know, something that I realized I should test, whether this is working. Before any of this otherwise happens, let's just make sure if we tell this worker to bring a log over, is it actually going to light up? We have 2 tests to do. 1, does that make it light up? It does. 2, does that make it light up if we set it to a certain number? Alright, we just did our test and it works just fine. So you, worker, wait over here. Actually, you know what? Why not? You have nothing better to do, and I don't want to fiddle with the admin commands. Carry stuff back! Carry things back. I command it. So we'll set this back to 200. That works. Oh, that works fine. So we can use that to time all of these. That is going to take me a long time to set up. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I do not look forward to that. All right, 2 more things. We've got a couple of things here because we're going to set up some rail lines now because we've got all of the different belts. Obviously, the first one is normal rails and then magic rails, you would think. But it's not, because we've got normal rails loop, right? Normal rails as a loop. Then also 1, 2, 1, 2. I want to know, what about normal rails not as a loop, but as a... Okay, this one needs to be output. Output. Thank you. What about normal rails, but not as a loop, as a back and forth line, where we can use a logistics pusher block to make it turn around at the end and go back and forth? I don't know. I honestly do not know if one of these has an advantage over the other. So that's what I want to find out. And then we set up the same thing for magic rails, which, like I said, obviously magic rails are going to go faster. Obviously. But how much faster? Do we know? Do they know things? Let's find out. And then doot. And magic rails. Straight over. Copy, please. Just like this. Make sure that they are, in fact, input, yes, and output. Make sure they are lined up the same. These are slightly unfair because being on the side of the building, they do have like 1 block further to go. You know what? Let's move these. Let's move these. Just to make it as fair as possible. This is still going to be like 1 extra, but this is still going to be 1 extra space, but this should be a little bit more fair. So if we send that one there, whoops, then send that one here. That's still going 1 space extra, but not too much extra, right? So that makes it a little bit more fair on the comparison. So that means we need to move this one over and this one over. There we are. Now give me my frickin' pushers. Okay. That way and that way. You would think this would be it, but it is not, because there is one more method that I want to test, and it's a little bit cheaty. I don't know if everyone knows this one. but we're going to test this against what people say is the fastest method of moving stuff in the game. And we need to test it with 2 different versions. 2, and then 1, 2. I said 2. There we are. We need to test this with 2 different versions, because there is the silo method. So for anyone who doesn't know, silos actually right now in the game, this might change later, but right now, they do a kind of push-pull thing. So we don't have these set up quite enough, but you know, everything else is the same, so we gotta make these go. They do sort of a push-pull thing. So if you put items going between silos, the item comes out of the silo and into the silo basically at the same time. So we're going to test it with chutes and with belts and see if it makes any kind of difference. So like, it's kind of a push-pull. Items will push onto this entity that is the chute, but then it'll also pull from the entity that is moving stuff. There we go. This will tell us whether there's any difference between doing it with a belt or doing it with a chute, because I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. So more or less, once the item goes from, you know, into this first one, it should pretty much instantaneously be sent down to this last one. Alright, Mr. Worker, you come over here. You come over here. Now then, I just need to spend a little bit of time setting up the last of this so that we can get our race set up, and then it's just a matter of watching it all happen. There is all of that. Now we just have to set up a few little things before we unpause. One, this worker ordered to carry things. This cart ordered to carry things. And then we need to add some mine carts. Mine carts, I'm going to put them each so that they are 1 block out from hitting their destination. Actually, yeah, I'm going to keep them all in the same path here, which is actually fair. 1 block out from hitting their destination. Well done. Then we just have to make sure they're all active. Forward. Forward. If I start and they're not active, I'll have to do something about that quickly. So now we're going to save to make sure that I can reset this easily. Amazing race. Boom. Now, I really wish that I was good enough at the logic blocks right now to set up a individual timer for each one of these, but that's actually very, very difficult the way these are set up now. So we're not going to be able to do that. So as soon as I hit unpause, I'm going to start to like make a note in my editing. I'm not going to know the actual results until I'm editing, and I apologize for that. I'm going to kind of try to have a timer going so I can kind of know, but you know, I'm not going to have the actual notes until I'm editing stuff. Like, I can't look at the actual numbers until I'm editing it. So there's going to be that. But I do have a stopwatch, and I'm going to try to keep an eye on when things go. One thing that you can do with this, like, obviously the worker is going to take forever. Same with the wagon and the minecarts. And you may be thinking, well, if you used multiple ones, it might even out. True. What you can do, though, is let's say this minecart takes 100 seconds to empty the barn, and this one takes 10 seconds. Well, you just have to take the 100 seconds from the minecart, divide it by the 10 seconds that this one took, which is not going to be 10 seconds, and that would give you, it would take 10 minecarts to reach the same speed, because you take the 100 divided by the 10, and then that gives you how many more things you need. So you can actually use this kind of thing this kind of test to see what you actually need. So let's start this and start the thing, and hopefully the minecarts go. The minecarts did go. Off we go. We're off to the races. It doesn't look like we're actually... Oh, no, 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 no. That's why I did the thing. That's why I did the thing. Reset everything. Reset. Sorry, there was a mistake. There was a mistake. There was a mistake. That's why something wasn't working. Right there. Right there. There was a problem. Okay, double check that. Double check everything. Everything good. Everything good. Everything connected. Everything connected up. Everything okay. Yeah, everything connected well. Okay. Now we have it. Now we have it. I have everything going. These ones are like ordered. These ones are ordered, right? The minecarts should all be good. This should actually be connected this time. Okay, let's save again. That's why it's important to save before you start this kind of test. Okay, now I'm ready to start this and my timer. And this belt is done. These are not even half empty. The worker hasn't even emptied the first one after 4.5 minutes, so I'm not sitting around for that. This one is not even half empty. So we're not going to sit around and wait for those. Something went wrong with this one. Someone who knows a little bit more about chutes, because I'm not as clear on chutes, something went wrong here. Because wood is not supposed to back up like that when you have the chute doing that. Like, the wood here kind of should have been flowing straight, and then for some reason it started bunching up here at some point during the test. Like, it should have been flowing like this more the whole time. And I'm not sure what happened, because that would have been faster, maybe. But that's something that can happen, so I'm going to keep it in. This was a live test. It was a live test, so I'm not exactly sure what happened with that. Well, I'm not going to know the actual results until I get into the editing itself, so I suppose we're going to have to record a little preamble here. Went through my little post-editing jump cut calculations, and it should have been on the screen already because I should have put it in the editing, but we have our winner was the magic belts with silos coming at 1 minute 15. Next we got magic... this was at 1 minute 8 seconds. Next was the magic belts at 1 minute 15 seconds. So we shaved off an entire 7 seconds by putting in all these silos. Very, very worth it indeed. Yes. So silos, not exactly worth it. 7 seconds. Then slower than that was the chutes at 1 minute 17 seconds. All these are rounded down to the nearest second just to keep things consistent. Then your magic rail loop is next. I would have expected that to be a little faster. I guess because it doesn't have as many rail lines. If you put multiple rail cars on that, it would probably be about double the speed. So that took 1 minute 18 seconds. So if you had 2 rail cards... Let's see, if you had 2 rails, that would be... Let's pull out my calculator really quick here. So we're at 1 minute 18 seconds, which is 78 seconds. So if we divide that by 2, we would get 39 seconds if we doubled the rail carts. 78 seconds divided by 3. If we had 3, it would be 26 seconds. So it would be the fastest route if we added more rail carts to the magic loop. That's pretty interesting. And also interesting, the magic straightaway took almost 5 seconds longer at 1 minute 23. So the straightaway is actually much slower than the loop, because not only does it take longer in itself, but you can add multiple rail cars to the loop, which would make this, with just 3 rail cars on here, just 3 mine carts, that would make it blow every other option out of the water. It would go twice as fast as our fastest one here with the silos if you just added another 1 or 2 mine carts to this loop. So by far the magic rails are blowing everything else out of the water if you factor in how much faster it can go with everything else. Next we had the chutes at 2 minutes. Big jump for the chutes at 2 minutes 12 seconds. Then the metal belt, slower than chutes still, but not by much, at 2 minutes 16 seconds. So metal belts are somewhat equivalent to chutes once you get to that part of the game. The chute ramp should have been faster, but something went wrong with it, but I can't really do that part of the test over easily because I'm not sure what was causing the log jam there. But that one took 2 minutes 24 seconds, even though it realistically should have been faster than this other one. I should have tested it without the grabber, like brought the barn itself up so that it was emptying straight onto that. Maybe that's a problem. I'm not sure what causes those log jams, and it may simply be a bug that we hit. Then the train loop. Interestingly, I did not expect the train loop to be so much slower at 2 minutes 39 seconds. That's a lot slower. But then let's see, that is 2 minutes is 120 plus the 37. Yeah, 37 seconds. Sorry, not 39. Gives us 157 seconds. So even if we brought that down, even if we doubled this, it would still be moving about as fast as the magic rails. And that doesn't even factor in being able to go uphill. This was all on flat, which would change things significantly. Then the rail straightaway added almost another 20 seconds to that, with 2 minutes 46 seconds. And finally, the cloth belt, the super sluggish 4 minutes 10 seconds. By far the slowest of any of the options. Then, of course, you have the wagon and the worker who did not even place. They didn't even place. The wagon was able to carry 76 items in the time that it took the others to empty. By the time I checked it, we were at 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and it carried 76 items, and the worker only carried 19 in the same route. But we can do some quick calculations to see what that would entail. So the wagon carried 76 items. Let's see, we have 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So 4 minutes would be 240 seconds plus 15 would be 255. So 255 seconds divided by 76 items. No, other way. 76 items by 255. Oof. So 76 items divided by 255 means it was carrying about 0.3 items per second. 0.3 items per second. So if we take the 200 items and times it by 0.3, that's not quite right. 0.3 items per second. That's correct, right? Did I do my math the right way round? Now I'm confused. If it took the worker 200, so what did I have? Dang it. So we have 255 is the number of seconds that took. So we have 19 over 255, and we want 200 over x. So we should take 200 times 255 divided by 19. Pretty sure that's how the cross multiplication should work. 200 times 255 divided by 19. 2,000 something seconds divided by 60. 44 minutes. that actually sounds about right. That should be right, because they carried almost 20, right? They carried almost 20 items in 4 minutes. There's 200 items in there, which is times 10, right? 20 times 10 is 200. So it would have taken them 44 minutes, about 44 minutes, to empty the silo. Yes, and then if we divide that basically by 4, because we have 20 and then almost 80 in the other, so to get a quick, slight comparison, the wagon, 11, would have taken about 11 minutes. Okay, yes, so the worker would have taken about 44 minutes to go through. Let me do the exact calculations on this one with the wagon. That's 76, so that should be the same. That should be 200 times 255 divided by 76, and then divided by 60. So about 11 minutes. I was right. So the worker would take about 44 minutes, and the wagon would take about 11 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and record all that, so hopefully my math works out. I used cross multiplication. I didn't, actually, because cross multiplication is for arrays. I can't remember what I called. It might be called cross multiplication. Anyway, a math person will tell me. Someone will tell me in the comments, because that's how this show works. I figured out one ratio as compared to another. I'm pretty sure that's cross multiplying. But if you cross 2 arrays, then you get an orthogonal line to 2 arrays. And then that's also called crossing, but I don't remember if that's called cross multiplying, because it's been a long time since I took linear algebra. Anyway, I hope that you had a good time with this. I hope it was entertaining for you. It was kind of a fun video idea I just wanted to do really quick because I had the idea. So I hope that you enjoyed. My name is Gepwin. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to see all of the rest of the things that I do, you can subscribe if you liked this video and want to see more random ideas that I had for some unearthly reason. You can, of course, leave a like so I know that you enjoyed it. Yeah. Again, hope that you enjoyed. Have a wonderful rest of your day with whatever it is you're doing, and I will see you next time. There's always a siren when I'm doing my outro. I hate it.